So leaving the military was very hard for me because I was in CSOR, the Canadian Special Operations Regiment, and I was an operator. And my whole platoon was going to Iraq, and I was coming to Toronto Police. And so I felt like a lot of disconnect from not doing that. And I started, and it took me a while to find my passion and what was going to motivate me, like being an operator did. And I feel like this program's actually helped save my life because it gave me like a perfect platform to give back and to really like get into and dive headfirst into. So I think this program's helped me a lot, to be quite honest with you.
Welcome to another episode of TPS Traffic Jam. I'm Sean Shapiro, but you knew that already. Joining me in studio is Aaron Dale, police constable with the Toronto Police Service. And you're more than that because you have quite a history and you've created something pretty amazing. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, so hey everybody, Sean, thanks for bringing me on the show.
Pleasure.
I have been watching it for a while, and I'm trying to get some tips and tricks to apply to what I do every day. But yeah, I designed the Military Veterans Wellness Program with another police constable, Jeremy Burns. We were both military veterans that started with policing in 2018, and we came to policing brand new. I left the Army pretty much a couple days before I started with Toronto Police. We went on our training, and Burns helped me with the my transition because it was a little challenging for me, and he had transitioned from the military a few years earlier. We both got badged, passed our police school in late 2018, and then in early 2019, the both of us started recognizing military veterans that were essentially suicidal or homeless in Toronto, and we just started building this program so police could better interact with suicidal homeless veterans or veterans that were in crisis.
And that's a big deal. I don't think people really understand, that you see a lot, you do a lot when you're deployed. And I'm not military. I've been with the police service for 24 years, but everything that I've come to learn, whether it be through movies and training, like there's a lot going on. You carry a lot. And police also carry things differently from their experiences. But it's amazing that you've been able to create what you've created, which is a way of helping people that is a first in Canada.
Yeah, so we kind of recognized a gap in service delivery. So when I left Special Operations in 2018, I had some personal challenges that I needed help. So through peer support and through Jeremy kind of pushing me into therapy and stuff, I went and got a lot of help from Veterans Affairs Canada, the Royal Canadian Legion, and OSIS, the Operational Stress Injury Social Support Program. So I got help from all these three agencies, and it made me kind of who I am today and a better police officer and helped my personal life out. But then when we got on the streets, we started recognizing military veterans that weren't connected to these services. And it's kind of hard to ask for help when you're suffering, and it's hard to sometimes there's a lot of stigmas around you think other people deserve the help more so than you do. But there's also a lack of cultural competency among policing across Canada. So what we were able to do is we were able to work our way through the entire policing chain of command to get approvals to create this and build this to what it is today. But essentially what it is today is a 1-hour training program so that any police officer in Canada can actually take it on our Canadian Police Knowledge Network for free because Toronto Police waived all the fees. And that training package, which took us a year to build, we got a lot of help from a lot of different people. So it's essentially a nationally based community policing initiative where we brought the entire community together to help build a program. So the training is what's life like in the military, what are your common struggles, and how difficult can it be to transition out of the military and into civilian life, how a veteran might end up in crisis, whether that be suicide or homelessness, and how police would be called to that crisis as a 911 call. Additional training on de-escalation so that a police officer can actually more effectively de-escalate a veteran while they're in crisis. What is the social services at the national level that can help with veterans? So Veterans Affairs Canada, the Legion, and OSIS. And I honestly think those are the best three social services in the world for what they can offer a person. And then after that, it's how can a frontline police officer at the side of the road connect that suffering veteran to the federal support. So we built a referral form, and it's probably one of the first medically based referral forms in Canada that any police officer can essentially pull up the form in their police car, do a simple verbal consent for contact under person in crisis legislation, And that was kind of based a little bit off the focus program with Detective Brian Smith and the rest of the team at the Community Partnerships and Engagement Unit. But as soon as they have that form, they click the submit by email button, and that form leaves the police car and goes right to the federal government. And then all three of those agencies call the veteran to offer all the support that they're entitled to. So right away, with that referral to the federal government, we're able to leverage the federal government to assist with a municipal matter. And we've replicated that across Canada. So far we're doing pretty well. We got about 90 police services across Canada that are involved in implementing the program. And we're in every province, every territory. The RCMP launched it. And believe it or not, we've shared this with the United States, all their federal agencies, the United States Veterans Affairs, and the Department of Veterans Affairs of Australia formally requested that the Australian Federal Police do this program. So
Wow.
it's been a lot of fun. We've been in the weeds of this since 2019, and we have a big team, and it's been a lot of fun to do this. It's been a passion project.
Well, it's so important. And again, I don't think unless you've been involved with people in crisis to understand really what it's to have the tools available and make it simple to get people what they need. That's huge.
It's very popular because it follows a little bit of the one government approach. So police are they're perfect conduits to connecting a person in crisis to the social supports. So police aren't giving the social supports. Police are just connecting people. And we do that through building a good rapport, providing empathy to their situation, defusing and de-escalating everything. And then once we have a bit of rapport and a bit of influence, it's how do we get this person help to improve public safety and have no more 911 calls for that person.
So let's say, not a police officer comes across someone that's in crisis or someone that they may believe could be a veteran. Is there something that the general public can do to help?
The best thing the general public can do is be there to support the other people in the general public. So if you see somebody that's struggling and you build a rapport and a connection with them, you can help direct them into support and into help. But if you're not able to do that, the best thing you can do is call a police officer to aid in de-escalation and aid in that crisis scenario. And then as soon as a police officer understands through the training and through talking to people in the public that this person actually is a military veteran, they're entitled to so much more and so many more services because of the service they had to their country. And we're able to do this not even for Canadian veterans, but also international veterans.
Wow.
In a lot of cases that are actually living in Canada. We'll either connect them to their home country's supports, or there's some cases where Canada will support these veterans as well.
So in many cases, it's people who are entitled to support that don't know that they're entitled or just don't know where to get the help. So they're sort of on their own.
Yeah, like when I left the military, I didn't think I deserved help, and I didn't think I needed it until my peers and my friends and my family and my wife, they were like, okay, you need to get some help. And other than that, I wouldn't have gotten help. I would have just kept on pushing through. And you find that a lot with the military community because when you think of like a combat scenario where you twist your ankle or you get an ache and pain or a bruise, the training teaches you to fight through those things. And unfortunately, the military population will apply the whole idea of fighting through the pain into their personal lives and into their mental health in scenarios that aren't combat related, just because that's the way they were trained. But with the training that's provided and with the interaction a police officer has with that veteran, they can break down those stereotypes and those mental health stigmas so that the veteran can actually realize that, yes, you do need to ask for help sometimes and you do need to receive the help. But
And it's okay. It's okay to do that.
It's very okay, but it's very challenging because it's hard to ask for help when you're sick, and sometimes you want to just push through. But the training teaches that, and we can all do that as good citizens when we see a military veteran that might be struggling. We can have those conversations with them and just remind them that thank you for what you did for the country, and now let's make sure you get the help you're entitled to.
Aside from the amazing work you're doing, you've had some amazing help and partnerships. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, so when I say it's a nationally based community policing initiative, it's because I had help from everybody. Both me and Jeremy sitting here trying to quarterback this whole initiative would never be possible with 2 police constables. So we had help from every layer of Toronto Police, from my direct staff sergeant when I had a few weeks on the job, when I was asking him about the problem, to being in front of my unit commander the next week, to all the way up to the chief, where we sold and explained our idea and our passion, and we helped get help from everybody. So we got help from Veterans Affairs Canada, the Royal Canadian Legion, and OSIS. We got a lot of help from Dr. Peter Collins, a forensic psychiatrist, to write all the de-escalation aspects. My wife, actually, Genevieve, she helped write all the mental health training. So that way we had a doctor that's a clinical psychologist explain the mental health aspects of a suffering military veteran. And the whole reason behind that, though, is so a police officer can better de-escalate, because you can better de-escalate if you can put yourself in the person's shoes, understand what they're going through, and then it's easier for you to provide empathy and can establish a connection so you can actually help the person. So we got a lot of help there. And my little sister, actually, she's a defense scientist for Department of National Defense. So she's got her PhD in performance measurements. So she took the entire program, provided a structural framework, a logic model, and a performance measurement so I could academically say this is what the program is. And then our supervisors and our decision makers can look at our structural framework, look at the logic model, and they can make correlations to how we're set up in the program and to how we logically get to our end results. And now we actually have a way to measure it. So it's essentially the science that backs the program. And those are kind of the key authors. But ever since then, we've had so much help from so many different people, like from the veteran community, across Canada, the international community, and police officers all throughout the Toronto, and throughout Canada, actually, because the closest population to a military veteran population is really a policing population. Mm-hmm. So a lot of police officers do the training, and they find some connections and some common ground between what a military veteran might go through after a tour versus how a police officer might be feeling after maybe a challenging call or a challenging few years. So, yeah, this by no means could have been done by just two people. We we also tried to make the training exciting. So CPCAN, the Canadian Police Knowledge Network, we've done a lot of training, and we're usually doing the training at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, when there's no calls on the board, and you have a couple minutes to do the mandatory training. So we said, oh my goodness, we need to make this training exciting so people learn it and so people remember it. So me and Jeremy really sat back and we asked ourselves, like, what's the coolest thing that we could put in this training that helped us? Because if it helped us, I'm sure it can help other people. So we reached out to Jocko Willink. We got intellectual property rights to use one of his videos into the training. We reached out to the David Lynch Foundation. We got videos from them, from the military, from TED Talks. And I cold called on LinkedIn, actually, the Five Finger Death Punch Band.
Right on.
One of the biggest rock bands. If you don't know, they're amazing. But they essentially let us use the music video Wrong Side of Heaven. So I think we're like the first online training program on CPCAN to have a full rock video on it.
Probably.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of support from every level of Toronto Police, and it's been really good because one of the things I like to say, and like from my previous like military experience, when it comes to like going through a building, let's say, one of my commanders said, "Hey, just keep charging forward. You know what to do. Just keep charging forward. Just back brief me what's going on, and I'll keep directing you. But keep on charging." And I've kind of applied that to life in Toronto. And I said that to one of our senior officers, and she was like, "You keep on charging. Back brief us what's happening. We'll protect you and we'll help guide you. But keep doing it." And it's been a blessing from the command of Toronto Police to actually be able to run with this and actually like run with a passion project.
It's truly amazing, and the Toronto Police has been so good about supporting members in this way, supporting you in this project. And similarly, how about the way they support me and what we do here at Traffic Services? So it's great when you have good managers in a supportive organization. It makes all the difference between make or break, right? But I love the fact that it's become this enormous deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's taken a life of its own, right?
It's been we're starting to have champions across different police services. We've successfully referred about 65 military veterans in the city of Toronto that were in crisis that needed help across Canada, we're in the 200s. So we're definitely making a difference and making an impact.
After you refer to them, do you refer them to the program? Are you circling back? Do you maintain connection? Are they part of the family now?
So that's the beauty about this program. So what we did was we provided the training and the referral mechanism, and every police service can build upon that. And we always tell police services to leverage local services. So the program directly refers to Veterans Affairs, Legion, OSIS, but those are all federal services. But through the training, we also tell each service to also leverage your local services. And other services have also built a mechanism where they can go and revisit the person and revisit the veteran, and they have it built into, I think, the 1 month, 3 month, and 1 year portion.
Nice.
Waterloo's been incredible for that, and they took that. And I think they have a lot. I think they actually have more referrals than us right now. They're doing really, really good.
But it's not a race.
It's not a race.
We're not competing. There's no free toaster. But having that you came into the police service, transitioning from the military, never planning on any of this.
No.
What do you think the most meaningful? What? I mean, there's so much good, but what's the biggest or the most impactful thing that you would relate to?
Leaving the military was very hard for me because I was in CSOR, the Canadian Special Operations Regiment. I was an operator, and my whole platoon was going to Iraq, and I was coming to Toronto Police. And so I felt like a lot of disconnect from not doing that. And I started, and it took me a while to find my passion and what was going to motivate me, like being an operator did. And I feel like this program's actually helped save my life because it gave me like a perfect platform to give back and to really like get into and dive headfirst into. So I think this program's helped me a lot, to be quite honest with you.
It's funny because, it's not appropriate really to compare because what you have done and served and been part of is so much bigger than what I have.
Oh, that's not a competition.
No, but like for me, I came off a motorcycle collision being a motor squad officer, and I ended up doing behind the scenes stuff, and I wasn't feeling like a cop anymore. And creating the podcast and live stream and social media interaction really allowed me to contribute in a way that was meaningful. And I've come to realize that what I do online it has more impact than I ever did as a cop stopping one person at a time on the street. And there's where I get to flip it back. What you're doing now and helping people in a totally different way, because as police, we're people helping people, but you are helping people who need it, who need it in such a special and unique way and deserve it. So I'm so. Is it weird to say I'm proud of you? Like, it's so amazing that you've done this incredible thing.
Thank you. That means a lot. But we were just saying a second ago, like, we didn't do this with two people. Like, I've been here now for almost 2 hours, and we've been filming for like 5 minutes at this point. But you literally helped piece together a lot of my future goals for this program because you're helping me with your lessons learned so this program can be better. Well, and yeah, it's amazing because it really is a team effort, and thank you as well.
It's my pleasure. My whole goal is to help. We talk about the public and helping the public and answering questions, but my goal is to help police be better communicators and as I said, self-safety. Trying to really build that communication. So if I can help the wellness unit, the military veterans wellness unit. I'm not saying that properly, but
military veterans wellness
program, not unit, program. But if I can help you do something better, then you got me 100%.
It's funny, like right when I first started with policing, I never realized how good like a good talker can be when it comes to de-escalation and public safety. Like when you see a person give the aggressor their handcuffs and say, "Put the handcuffs on and go sit in my car." And it just blows your mind how good of a talker a person can be and how you can de-escalate so well with good training and with good mentorship. And I think we're both aligned on how good and how important that can be. And that's what I'm trying to do. Like at the end of the day, no one wants to see a military veteran in handcuffs. What we want to see is a military veteran get the help they may or may not need, because a lot of military veterans transition from the military and they're super successful and they do really, really well. But a couple of people have some traumas that they need assistance with. And if we can do that and help these people get back to being super good members of society and live an amazing life, we owe that to them, because without the work people do overseas, Canada would be very different place. And that goes way back in through our history.
It's to prevent suffering. And people who are suffering in silence need that extra hand to be reached out.
It's awful. Like the military creates body armor and it has helmets and bulletproof vests, and we lost a lot of people in Afghanistan and Iraq, but we've actually lost way more to suicide. And for these people, the war's not over yet. They're still dealing with the demons and the results of their service and their experience, but we can't forget these people. And as police, we need to really make sure we help divert people away from crime and get them the help they need so there's not a second 911 call, and so public safety is improved. And we owe it to our veterans.
Sure.
I like to say, like, protect the protectors.
I like that.
Yeah.
If people watching this want to help your program in some way, is there a mechanism that the public can, not just helping the person on the street, but helping the program? Is there, can they buy T-shirts? Can they somehow contribute in any way, shape, or form? And I mean that because I know people are going to ask me, and I have to ask for them.
Okay.
Whether it be, funding. Do you fund anything? Is there a way to support?
So this is a very unique program because the program's designed for police. But the more awareness I can have about my program to police leaders and to the public and to veterans would be beneficial. So anything to do with, we talked a lot about social media impact and creating a good social media impact, good national impact, good international impact to share best practices. That'll all be beneficial. But the police is a very weird thing because we can't say, I'm the Toronto Police and I want to ask for money. So
right.
We don't do that. But what we can do is we can help build brand awareness to the Military Veterans Wellness Program and help to divert people that may be suffering into help. So our whole idea is public safety, and our whole idea is awareness, and we can build through awareness mainly through connections and through social media. So,
is there a public-facing website?
There is a public-facing website. It's on the Toronto Police website under the Community Partnerships Engagement Unit. It's the Military Veterans Wellness Program. And our social handles are military_veteran_wellness.
Okay.
And any kind of help, anybody, like programs like this, they don't really, it's a nationally based community policing initiative, but the team that we have that's helped out in this is in the 160 people range. Like everybody has a different piece of the pie that's helped out with. So both yourself and the greater masses, if you guys have any, guys and girls, if you guys have any ideas to how to make this better and how we can help and how the police can do a better job at helping suffering veterans in any way, please email and reach out to us, and we'll have our links and emails at the bottom of the podcast.
Yeah.
But this is really a teamwork. This is all based around teamwork, and that's what community policing really is.
So first off, if you're watching this and you know somebody that would benefit from knowing about this, share this podcast episode with them. That would be a huge help. Because within this podcast, you're going to be able to share the contact information so that more people can become aware of the program. And then if you know of an individual needing help, you can contact the police to get a referral, to get them the help they need, because you may not be in a position to approach it. Right?
Yeah, so our partnerships go way beyond Toronto, though. Like we're in partnership with an organization called Media Twist, and they're actually helping to amplify our message across Canada and the United States. And they're essentially taking their skills at selling out concerts and selling out shows and applying that to selling out an idea of public safety, an idea of military wellness, an idea of every cop needs cultural competency, de-escalation training about the veteran population. And then they need a way to connect that veteran to the supports that save their lives. Like in the United States, the majority of veterans that actually die by suicide aren't connected to the services. So how can I, as a police officer, connect a person to those services so they don't choose that dark way out?
Yeah. So we need everyone to come together as a community and share and educate. And that's what you guys are, you're putting those puzzle pieces together and making them available, and I love it.
Thank you.
Share the podcast, and if you come across someone in need, Notify people who can help, and those people happen to be police, especially if they're involved with this program. And if your local police service isn't involved with this program, let them know that they can contact
please.
and reach out and get involved with the program. So awesome stuff. Thank you for coming in and spending time, and I look forward to helping and working together on this going forward.
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot more conversations to do because the things you're doing is amazing, and like I explained, I can learn a lot from you, I'm sure, to help amplify this message, and thank you for everything.
Pleasure. Awesome. We'll talk to you soon.